Hi students. So, by the time you guys are watching this, I already told you I'm not going to be here. By the time you guys are watching this, which should be on Thursday, January 29. So you guys are probably going to be watching this through your own computers. The substitute or Miss Morris should have you go to Google Classroom and have you guys click this video. So yeah, forgive me if I sound a little bit off. I'm recording this near midnight, so that way I can have this uploaded to the Google Classroom by the time you guys make it to school tomorrow morning. So you're watching this. This isn't going to be a long video because I'm just showing you guys what to do for today's math lesson, which is basically more division practice. So I'm going to show you guys two methods. Kirby's just here because why not? I'm going to show you guys two methods on how to divide, how to basically complete a division problem. So for instance, if we have 85 divided by 5, I'm going to show you guys the long way, and I'll show you guys the faster way. The long way is, you guys already did this yesterday, as of me recording this video. It's the base 10 method. So first things first, if you're thinking in terms of base 10 blocks, the first step is to obviously build your number. We're trying to build 85. So to build 85, we need 1, 2, it's not going to be perfect, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You need 8 10 blocks and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 1 blocks. I'm not going to write, why not? I'm just going to write 1 on each block. So there you go. This should be 2, 4, 6, 8, 85. Right. Remember, if we're dividing by 5, we need to make sure that we group all of these into groups of 5. So the way we're doing that is, we have 8 10 blocks. I'm going to group 5 of them. I'm going to select 5 of them, which is going to be hard because I'm recording this one-handed, but we'll manage. We're going to manage. So I'm going to go ahead and box in 5. This should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I was able to make one group of 10 blocks. So that's going to be the first number that I write here. Our first number for our answer is going to be 1. Excuse me, clear my throat. Now, we have these 3 on their own. You all probably know this, but we can't group these into a group of 5. So what I'm going to do instead is, I'm going to cross them out, and I'm going to add them here. We have 3 10 blocks, so I need to make 31 blocks. So it's going to take a while, so hold on. Feel free to fast forward this, by the way, if it's getting too long, but here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5, 10, and again, it does not have to be perfect. 15, as long as it's right. 20. We zoom out a little bit. 25 and 30. Okay, I'm not going to write the ones on it because we're going to take forever. So now that I blew all these, I blew the 3 10 blocks up into ones, I can start grouping them into groups of 5. So this is group 1, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups, 6 groups, and 7 groups. So if you guys were counting, and let's just confirm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not saying the number, you guys know why. But we were able to make 7 groups of 1 blocks, and that's going to be our second number that we put here. So there you go. That will be our answer. 85 divided by 5 equals 17. So that's the first way to solve this. Excuse me. There is a faster way to do this, which I'm going to show you right now. We're going to move here. If we have 85 divided by 5, instead of writing it like this, I'm going to write it a different way. And Miss Mora might have taught you guys this already. To those who she didn't teach, pay attention. So I'm going to write 85 first. I'm going to write this. I'm just going to call this a bracket piece or an umbrella. Half umbrella. Let's just call it that. There's probably a mathematical term for this, so I'm just going to call it the half umbrella. So we're just going to draw this. So we have 85. We have our half umbrella. And on the side, right next to it, I'm going to write our 5. This is what we call standard algorithm. Let me write it here. This is what we call standard algorithm. So this is the shortcut when you want to do a division problem. You write 85, draw your bracket piece, and you write 5 right next to it. So when you're doing standard algorithm, first thing you want to do is focus on the 8 first. We're counting by 5s. This is where you're going to need to know your multiplication, because when you count by 5s, you're going to ask yourself, when you count by 5s, what's the highest number you can reach when you count by 5s before you go over 8? Before you go over 8. If you count by 5s, the highest number you can get to without going over the number 8 is 5. Because obviously, if you count by 5s, you go 5, 10. You can't go higher than 8. So we have to stay at 5. So if the highest number you can get to is 5, you write that below 8 and you subtract. Now, before you subtract, it's very important that you write a number on top of the 8. So what number, and feel free to pause this if I'm going too fast, or feel free to rewind this, because again, this is a YouTube video, but you're going to ask yourselves, 5 times what number equals 5? 5 times what number equals 5? 5 times 1 equals 5. So, kind of similar to how we got our one group of 10 blocks, we have our first number. So, what you're going to do next is subtract. 8 minus 5 equals 3. All right, we are not done yet because we still have to make sure we still have this 5 right here hanging out by himself. And we want to make sure that there's nothing left when we are done, when we get our number. So we're going to take this 5. I'm going to draw an arrow down. And I'm going to write it here. So now we have 35. So to get your second number, you're going to ask yourself, 5 times what number equals 35? 5 times what number equals 35? 5 times what number equals 35? You can pause the video to figure that out, but if you already know it, I'm going to go on. 5 times 7, and make sure that you actually write the 7 above the 5. That's very important. We're dealing with place value here. 5 times 7 equals 35. So 5 times 7 equals 35. What we're going to do now is 35 minus 35. This should be easy enough. 35 minus 35 is 0. All right. Once you have a 0, once you do all your subtractions, if you hit 0, you are done. You are going to be done, and you are able to box in the number that you get at the top, and that will be your answer. Now, for this lesson, most of the division problems that you have, if you do this method, most of them will have a 0 when you're done subtracting. In future lessons, there will be, you might not have a 0, you might have a 1 or a 2. We're going to get there when we get there. Excuse me. But for now, just make sure when you do all your subtractions that you have a 0 at the bottom, so that way you can cross or box in your answer at the very top. So we're going to do a couple more let's move Kirby out of the way. Let's do a couple more problems before I end this video, because your exit ticket, if you already have it, it's just going to give you a division problem, and it's going to say solve it using diagrams, using area model, or using whatever strategy you want. I'm just going to go with standard algorithm because I promise you, with a little bit of practice, this is going to be the fastest way to do it. So let's see. What problem can I use this time? Excuse me, sore throat. Let's do, we did 85 divided by 5. How about this? Let's do 144 divided by 12. And again, we're using standard algorithms, so first things first, we got to rewrite this standard algorithm. So to do that, you write 144, your half umbrella, and then you write 12 right next to it. All right, this is going to be your practice. So let's focus on, let's cover up the, is there a better way to cover this up? There you go. There's a better way to cover this up. There you go. Let's cover up the 4. So now we have 12 and 14. Remember, you are counting by 12. When you count by 12, ask yourself, what's the highest number you can reach when counting by 12s that you can reach before you go over 14? When you count by 12s, what's the highest number you can reach that doesn't go over 14? Feel free to pause this video or take a few seconds to try and figure that out. Okay, I'm going to move on because, again, you can pause the video to try and figure that out. But when you're counting by 12s, the highest number you can get to before you go over 14 is 12. So I'm going to write 12 here, write your minus sign. Now, before I subtract this, you have to ask yourself, 12 times blank equals 12. 12 times what number equals 12? Should be easy enough because 12 times 1 equals 12. Now, if someone's going to ask, okay, why did I write the 1 on the 4, on top of the 4 and not over here? Again, we're thinking place value because 12 times 1 equals 12, and we want to make sure that these numbers line up, okay? So, after this, we have our first number. We're going to subtract here. 14 minus 12 equals 2. We are not done yet because we have this lonely 4 right here that's hanging out by itself. Now, what are we going to do with this 4? Feel free to pause the video, take a few seconds to try and remember. But if you, obviously I'm going to move on now, but for this 4, if you already figured it out, we're going to bring it down and put it right next to the 2. So now we have the number 24. This is, again, we're counting by 12s, so you're going to ask yourself, 12 times what number equals 24? 12 times what number equals 24? I'm going to pause the video if you need to figure it out, but it should be easy enough. 12 times 2 equals 24. 12 times 2 equals 24, so the last thing I need to do is 24 minus 24, which obviously equals 0. Now, we reached 0, so all I have to do left is box in our answer, and we have our answer. 144 divided by 12 equals 12. All right. I'll give you guys maybe one more problem because we're running on, like, I can see how long the video is going. We're about to reach 15 minutes. I'll give you guys one more practice problem. similar to this, and I want you guys to try and use standard algorithm to solve it. So I'm going to write it for you. You're going to pause the video and you're going to try to work it out on your own. Let me think of a number. Let's see. Let's see. Let's try this. We're going to try 246 divided by 6. All right. Again, if you're doing standard algorithm, you're going to write 246, half umbrella, and you're going to write 6 right here. So, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to give you guys, well, I was going to give you guys about a few minutes. You can just pause the video. Pause the video right now, and I want you guys to try and solve this. I'll wait a few seconds. I'm going to give you guys some time to pause the video. In about 5 seconds, I'm going to move on, and we're just going to go over this really quick. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so first things first, once you write it like this, I'm going to use my pen here. Let's cover up the 6. We're going to focus on the number 24. And you're going to ask yourself, when you count by 6, what's the highest number you can reach that doesn't go over 24? What's the highest number you can reach that does not go over the number 24? The highest number you can reach without going over 24 is 24. When you count by 6, you actually hit the number 24. Which means, for our first number, you're going to ask yourself, 6 times what number equals 24? 6 times what number equals 24? 6 times 4 equals 24. Unless I'm going insane, which I'm not, 6 times 4 equals 24. So, 24 minus 24 equals 0. You bring that down, and then you bring the 6 down. You don't want the 6 hanging out by itself. All right, so all that's left to do is 6 times what number equals 6? This should be easy enough. 6 times what number equals 6? 6 times 1 equals 6. So, 6 times 1 equals 6. Subtract. All you're left with is a nice big 0. And with that, we finally have our answer. Make sure you box it in. 246 times 6 equals 41. Box it in, write your check mark, and you're done. All right, students, so that was basically how we're doing today's lesson. Again, I would, just to recap, there are now two ways that you can do division problems. You can either do it the very long way, or you can do it with standard algorithm. I highly recommend that you practice doing standard algorithm, because when you're taking benchmark or when you're taking LEAP, this is going to take up so much time if you try to draw this by yourself. You kind of already saw it when I was trying to draw it. I had to draw 30 of these blocks, and it took way too long versus just doing this and just practicing how to do standard algorithm. So I'd recommend practicing standard algorithm. You can use your exit ticket to do that right now. I gave you some practice problems here. So if I remember correctly, your exit tickets is going to be 132 divided by 4. Could be wrong, but that's what I remember seeing. If you're doing 132 divided by 4, and I'm not gonna solve it for you guys, because it's up to you guys to do it. But if you're doing standard algorithm, here's how you set it up, and the rest would be up to you guys. So I'm gonna end this video right here because I'm recording this. It is almost about to hit midnight. I need to get some rest. So thank you guys for watching. I will link another video that shows you guys how to do standard algorithm, because I know I can be pretty hit or miss when it comes to explaining things. So I'll have you watch this video and the other video if I can find a better video, so that way you guys won't hopefully get confused. Miss Mora can also help you guys with this. Oop, accidentally hit Kirby with that. Sorry about that, Kirby. I'll link 2 videos so you guys won't get confused on standard algorithm. Complete your exit ticket, give it to Miss Mora or give it to the substitute. Do not give them too much of a hard time, because I will ask Miss Mora how you guys behave. And yeah, I will see you guys on Friday. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. See ya.